What if I told you there was a second tool that you need to set up on Google? It's completely free and it's going to tell you a lot about your website. It's going to tell you who's visiting, where they're visiting from, and give you a lot of really good information that you can then use to make your website even better. My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow from sales training to marketing to business operations. We've been super fortunate to literally help hundreds of you guys. We have a massively growing Discord. If you'd like to join, growth-generators.com/Discord. And it's just been a truly, truly incredible community. Now, if you're looking for some freebies, some tips, things that are going to help propel your MSP forward, if you're listening to the podcast, MSP Heroes, there will be links down in the video description and the podcast description. You can head over to growth-generators.com/Discord. And in there, right up top, you'll see actually where it actually is on the website. But in there, you're going to see trainings, videos that are super helpful. And then on top of that, additional tools from landing your first client, blog post templates to SEO checklists, and more. I would highly, highly, highly recommend. Even the pricing masterclass, which comes with a pricing calculator, is going to be in there. So I would highly recommend going and checking that out. And we're adding tools on a regular basis. So let's talk about Google, because we all know that Google is the largest search engine in the world. Bar none, it is huge. And all of our ideal clients are going through that, right? But we don't know how they're getting to our website, right? We talked about Google Search Console previously, which is telling Google, hey, look at me, I exist, and then they can start to send people over to your website. But they only send people over to your website. We don't really know who they are. We don't know how long they're staying on the website. We don't know what pages they're going to. And that's the second half of the equation. The first half is getting found. Super important. The second half is knowing who's finding us, right? And knowing their behaviors, anything that we really want to know for that we could make good business decisions from that. So setting this up, it should take you no more than 10 or 15 minutes. Probably by the end of this video, you should be able to set it up. And I'm going to walk you through a bit of an overview, but I'm going to walk you through how you could do it, because they've made it a little bit more challenging that I can't show you like a step by step by step. And depending on what platform you've built your website on, the instructions may vary slightly for you. So first thing you're going to do is go over to Google, type in Google Analytics, right? And it'll come up. It's usually the first thing. Now, they also have a full training course that you could actually go through. And there is a lot to actually consume on here. You definitely don't need to go through it, but hey, I'm not going to stop you from learning. You can 100% take your time and actually go through this training course, but usually it's the first one. You want to see that Google Analytics there. When you click that, you're going to be brought to your Google Analytics. So currently there is 643 people on the website in the last 30 days, and it's going to give me a bunch of information. Now, this is because I have a brand new one set up. Now, if you'd like to set up if you'd like to set up a brand new one, you're going to go to admin. And then in here, you're going to actually follow the steps. Now, they've changed this several times, so I also want to be slightly vague on how I actually tell you to go set this up, because it is kind of it's a process. First, you have to go create an account, right? And your property belongs in an account. You're going to go through, create that property, you create that account, then you're going to go through and create that actual property. So in this case, I'm just going to show you what creating a property looks like. You're going to enter the name of your website, right? So I'm just going to write testing for YouTube, and then it's going to ask you your business details, right? They just want this, they want to know, right? In this case, computers and electronics, pretty self-explanatory, small, 1 to 10 employees. If you have 500 employees and you're doing this for the first time, God bless. And then we really want to pick a business objective. Now, this is going to help just give us information. It doesn't mean we're going to get better or worse information. You can go through and check all of these off. You could check none of these off. It doesn't particularly matter. In most of our cases, it's going to be to generate leads, right? And then we're going to hit actually create on here. Now, it's going to give us a couple different options: web, Android app, or iOS app. Obviously, we're going to do we're going to do web. And then you're going to put in your website here, and then you're going to go through and just be able to you should be able to hit create and continue. This is going to give you a very specific code. It's usually a series of letters and numbers, and that is your Google Analytics 4 code. Back in the day, you used to have UA Analytics, Universal Analytics. That's what it stood for. Google used to have that. It used to be like UA hyphen or dash and then a series of letters and numbers. Google, as of about halfway through the year last year, if I remember correctly, switched over completely, if not even earlier than that, over completely to Google Analytics 4. So now you're going to be on Google Analytics 4. Don't worry, you can't set up the old stuff, but you may have set this up in the past. It's time to update it because they're getting rid of it. Actually tells you on the top of Google Analytics on here. These courses are about Universal Analytics starting July 1st, 2023. Standard Analytics, standard UA properties will stop processing data July 1st, 2024 for UA 360 properties, which means it's going away. Like it just went away completely where they're not tracking any of that at all going forward. So you might have a little lapse in data. Now, for the sake of this, I'm just going to go back to actually show you guys what you can fully see on here, but I'm going to show you where that actual code goes. But inside of analytics, you're going to be able to see the number of users, the number of the actual users, right? The key events, depending on what you decide to change this to, and the event count of 3.9 thousand. And this is going to vary tremendously over time. For newer websites, you might not get that much traffic in here. And this is only as accurate as Google can actually make it. There are some discrepancies, and I'll actually show you guys that here in a second. But you could go through, you can pull reports, you could go through, you can explore kind of what they offer. You can see the acquisition, the engagement that people are having, right? You can see how they're engaging with your website, the page views, the sessions, all of that kind of stuff in here as well. And then if you're monetizing, right, in this case, we're not doing e-commerce purchases, but it would show you, right? It would show you how much you're actually doing. We don't run anything through our main website, so we're not going to see anything on there. But you can see quite a bit of information. You can explore your website. You can get new reports and all that kind of stuff and go through and just see what things are like. I would highly recommend playing around in here. There is a tremendous amount of data that you can get through here. Monetization overview, engagement overview, report snapshots, creating properties, and where people are visiting, which is crazy. There's somebody in Russia on our website. There's people all over the world, which is super cool. And by the way, if you are not in the United States, I would... Hold on, stopping the video real quick for 1 second. One, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. But if you're watching this video and you're not in the United States, it is super cool. Nerding out a little bit. It is genuinely super cool. Let me know where you're from. I don't need your name. Just tell me where you're from. I would be super... I think it's truly, truly incredible that you guys follow me from around the world. And I'd love to know where you guys are from. So leave your country down below. You don't have to give me your address, but the country that you reside in now or you came from, super, super cool. Say hi. It would melt my heart, honestly. Love you guys for that. All right, back to the video. So you could see a lot of information, views by page title and screen, right? And you can adjust a lot of this. There's also an app that you could download if you choose to do so, right? And then you could see sessions and you could play around. There's a ton of information to get out of here. Users, right? E-commerce, events, page screens, page views, right? You can actually see the number of page views that happen. We had a huge spike a couple weeks ago. All things that you might want to actually see. I like to see users. Users are people visiting the website. Sometimes they're repeats. So that's why you would see a new user versus a user. And then key events. You can change those however you want. It says for me, right? And you can just change it to views if you want to do views. You can change it to sessions. You can change it to average engagement time, right? How long you guys are on the website till you find what you want, click download and leave it, right? That's totally cool. That's what it's actually there and designed for. So now that you get this little code, right, and it's just a series of numbers, and I don't want to give you guys mine, so I can't really show an example, although I'm sure I could probably find one on Google. You're going to go to your website processing platform, right? And that could be, I use Wix, you use Wix, Squarespace, GoDaddy, you could use WordPress, whatever it is. Most of them have some kind of either downloadable widget that goes into it or it's already built into the actual platform. Now, before I go into exactly where you're going to, I'll go into that first. You're going to go to, in this case, Wix on settings. You'll see settings. You're going to scroll all the way down to marketing integrations at the bottom. When you click that, it'll automatically open, and then you can click connect, and you just paste your code directly in there. You hit check, and then basically it says great, you're good to go. And in a few minutes you should stop receiving an error, and you should start to see data come through. Go on your website, open it up, right, and it'll actually show you that data on your website, or show you that data on your Google Analytics. Now, there is some kind of gotta be a little bit careful, because analytics, I don't know how much I actually trust with a lot of these different areas. And those areas come into play when it comes to your site sessions, because there's a lot that could go into site sessions. And you'll see site sessions and unique visitors over the last 30-day period, right? But if I go to Google and I see 683, there's some discrepancy there, right? 940 versus the 643. So I'm not exactly sure why that there's a discrepancy. I don't think that anybody has the full accurate information. I have not seen a end all be all solution. Most people swear up and down by Google Analytics. This is directly on my website from Wix showing me different numbers. So take it with a grain of salt. It's going to be pretty darn accurate either way. And what they consider, they might be, Google Analytics might be accounting or not accounting for something else, but every platform is going to give you slightly different information. I would say the platform that you build your website on and Google Analytics are the gold standard for it. And then everything else is silver standard. We'll go with that one. But it shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes. You want to create that actual property inside of the account that you have. You can have multiple properties inside one account. So if you end up making multiple sites, that is how you can go through and track all of that information. But you want to just put that on the website, because you're not going to have historic data. Just like Google Search Console, from the day you implement it, which I was going to do this video in a couple weeks, I said, I got to help my people. It is super, super important. I want to make sure that you get your Google Search Console and Google Analytics set up. I will leave a link down in the video description for Google Search Console. That way, in 3, 6, 9 months from now, you go, Harrison, thank you so much for telling me to set this up, because now I actually have data. It's going to take a little while. Don't worry. But you want to start that process as early as you can. So that way, fast forward down the road, you have good data to work, which good data means better business decisions, which means you can grow your business more effectively. I hope you guys have found some value in this video. If you did, like button, subscribe button. Let me know where you're from. If you learned something, you have a question, leave it down in the comments below. I read every single comment. I reply to every single comment. It truly warms my heart hearing from you guys. Other than that, love the heck out of you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.